So today I'm going to share with you two common inventory management mistakes that both lead to stocking out and some techniques that you can adopt in order to avoid them. So the two most common inventory management mistakes that cause stocking out are, of course, under ordering and ordering too late. The biggest reason for these common stock out issues are, one, not accounting for previous stock outs, and two, not setting up a buffer stock system. If you're using an inventory management software system, it's vital that you, one, understand how their algorithm works, and two, ensure that it's accounting for all of these variables. Math is unforgiving, and one input that is incorrect will corrupt the entire equation. Amazon's own inventory planning tool doesn't account for stockouts, which is pretty typical. Their tools aren't necessarily that sophisticated, but the problem is that many other softwares are just as guilty. Really, if you don't know how your inventory management tool works, how it accounts for stockouts, how it accounts for sales spikes, how it calculates sales velocity, it's actually more of a liability to your business than it is an asset. So a real live example is with this product here, this Self Finger Strap. So there is a stock out that has occurred with this product, and we're looking at the average of 30 days and 15 days, and we see that the adjusted daily velocity is 8 units per day. Now that's going to have us ordering 1,275 units in our next reorder. However, if we were to not factor stockouts out and they actually got in and muddied up our data, let's see what happens. So you see that we went from an average of 8 units per day to 4 units. That's half the amount of inventory being moved. And we look at our order total, and we are being asked to order half of what we should be ordering, which completely skews our entire order and throws off all of our plans. You really need to understand how stockouts are being calculated. So if the software is considering a stockout when your inventory hits 0, that's actually a very inaccurate way to factor stockouts into your equation. That actually should have nothing to do with the way that stockouts are factored, and here is why. So if you are stocking out and you sell 100 units a day and you're consistently selling an average of 100 units a day, and then you stock out, well, the day before you fully completely stock out, you may have sold 20 units. If that 20 units is still calculated into your in-stock, that number will actually throw off your entire average for the entire month, for the entire period that you're using to calculate your adjusted velocity. Another problem would be if you forgot to turn off your listing when you stocked out, Amazon every now and then they'll find a unit and they'll sell 1 unit. You'll have a sales day of 1 unit. And so if you're only counting 0 sales or 0 inventory as a stock out, that one day can throw off your entire 30-day average. The other reason why it's important to look at sales and not to look at the inventory in stock is when you have, say you have 1,000 units in your inventory, but your listing gets suspended and you stop selling for 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks that we should consider as part of the stock out, even though you have a ton of inventory in stock. So it's very, very important to look at sales patterns and to look at the stock out patterns and to look at all of these different factors as part of your stock out, not just did I have inventory or didn't I. All right, and then the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about was buffer stock. Let me go ahead and show you what it looks like to use buffer stock or not to use buffer stock. Now, buffer stock is very important in that it's kind of like having that little bit of extra gas in your tank while you try to get to the station to fill up. So you'll see that we have 30 days worth of buffer stock set. And 30 days worth of buffer stock at 8 units a day is 240 units. Our reorder schedule is set to tell us to send inventory to arrive right before we dig into our buffer stock. So whenever you're calculating buffer stock, it's very important to actually calculate for number of days, because if you have a seasonal product that sells really well during the summer but doesn't sell well during the winter, the amount of buffer stock that you want for the summer is much larger than the amount of buffer stock that you want. So what happens if we actually remove the buffer stock is that you're going to see that we are now told, instead of shipping it to arrive just before it hits our buffer stock, the inventory is going to arrive just before we hit 0. These tools are very important to build into your system to keep you from stocking out, keep you from having to waste money re-ranking after stocking out, save you money on expensive air shipments. This is tools that we and our own users use to be able to be more consistent, stay in stock, and keep more money in your pocket.